Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft the Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we had round 2 against the Vancouver Canucks, and it was a very back and forth series. We managed to win it in 7 games. We lost the first 2 games, and at that point, I honestly didn't think we were going to be able to win really much games against the Canucks. But then we won 2 games against them in their own building to tie the series up. We then lost in overtime, so once again we were trailing in the series, but then bounced back with 2 wins of our own, where we played great offensively and great defensively, mainly because of our captain Avery Parrott. And yeah, we're on to the conference finals. Somehow again, we're going to be taking on the Nashville Predators. Winner of the series will go to the Stanley Cup finals against Ottawa or Washington, so it's going to be very interesting to see if we're able to do so. Nashville was the best team in the league winning the President's Trophy, and they were the only team above us in the season because we were the second best team in the NHL. So it's definitely going to be a heavyweight matchup to see who can end up getting to the Stanley Cup. Hopefully we can. It's definitely a very, I'll show you guys the roster in a second, but I feel like we're definitely evenly matched in a sense because technically we have the better offense and defense. They technically only have the better goaltending, so if we're able to score on their goaltenders, we could definitely do some damage. But let me show you guys the roster again, just in case you forgot. But this is going to be a very close series. I feel like it could easily go 7 games. And then hopefully we could, if we get to the Cup Finals, win that Stanley Cup again. Just because we do know that there's likely to be a couple retirements this offseason. But here's Nashville. Some young pieces, some more veteran-type pieces. But on general, this offensive core, I'm kind of surprised they did as good as us almost in the regular season. Like, Paxbu and Mackey are good, but on the rest of the offensive core, it's kind of more average players. Defensively, though, I could definitely see why they were good offensively, because Devin Lawrence is a 91, and he is an insane player, likely to win the Norris this season, so there is that. And then, obviously, their goaltending, like I said, is better than ours, and yeah, you could see definitely why. They have an 88 and an 86, so they have good goaltenders they could turn to if they need to. And, yeah. I don't know how long this series is going to go, if it's going to go to 7 games, or if it's going to be somehow a team's going to randomly sweep themselves in these conference finals, but I hope that we can get to the Stanley Cup finals again. We haven't been there in quite some time. Last year we went to the conference finals, lost to Calgary, who eventually did not make the playoffs this year, which is still a massive surprise to me, so technically whoever comes out of this series I feel like might win the Stanley Cup. I don't know how good Ottawa and Washington are, but I think whoever comes out of the series might be the favorite, just because we're technically the top 2 teams. So let's get into this conference finals and see if we could pull off an upset. We do not have home ice advantage for the first time in this playoff run, but we've been a really good road team so far, so I don't know if it's going to really mean too much. Both of us are 8-4 in the playoffs as well, so let's see who is going to be going to the Stanley Cup finals. Game 1 of the conference finals is underway. First period, 1-1. Okay, I'll take that. Hartnell opened the scoring for us, so that's good to see us score first. Ellington tied it up, though, for them. Shots are 13-7 in favor of Nashville. Push had a really good last two games of that round against Vancouver. Other than that, though, we did play Hayden for a couple wins, so I'm hoping that Pusher could kind of ride the momentum he had in those last 2 games against the Canucks in this game as well. Second period. 2-1 us, let's go, and it's Lee Gamble. Let's go. Shots are dead even 2-1. It's 2-1, or 21-21, and it's 2-1 after 2. That's weird. 21-21-21. I think that 21 Savage is playing this game or something like that, but let's see what happens in this third period. See if we're able to get some more insurance. We have the lead. Just got to find a way to get that third goal. And we do get it. It's Ryan Danner. Let's go. This is a good first game of the conference finals. Power play. We do not score on it. But yeah, this is a good first game of the conference finals. Much better than some of the other first games we've had in prior series. And we are going to be taking a 1-0 series lead with a road win in Nashville. We've been a great road team this playoff run. And that's another great game for Spencer Pusher. Hartnell from Larmour and Vico. Gamble from Yancevsky and Keith. And Danner from Hartnell and Leeson. Let's go. Yeah, this is turning out to be a pretty good run this year. Pusher was really good in these last 3 games. He just needs to keep on that momentum. Gets first star for the 3rd straight game, I think. Hartnell the second star, and Gamble the third. Let's see if we can keep on rolling here. We've won 3 straight games now. Yeah, we've won 3 straight games now, all with really good defensive efforts and solid offensive ones. So we just got to keep on rolling here. We need 3 more wins to get ourselves to a Stanley Cup final. We just got to keep that in mind, but take it one game at a time. Can we take a 2-0 series lead here? We're going to keep the team the same because that was a textbook first game. Let's see if we can take a 2-0 series lead. First period of game number 2. We're down 1-0, so we're trailing for the first time in a little bit. Gardner scores. Shots are 14-10 in favor of them, so they're outshooting us, so we need to get a couple more shots on goal at least, and hopefully have a better second period. Maybe get one past their goaltender. Second period. Hey, let's go. Keith and Hartnell, 2 more old guys, and we have the lead going into the third again, just like last game. Shots are 25-22 in favor of the Preds. We are playing great defensive hockey lately. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we can get some insurance and lock down this game. Hey, tie it up immediately. That's not good. Hendrickson on the power play, and Matthews scores for them too. That's not good defensive hockey, guys. Lawrence makes it 4-2 on no pusher. He's returning back to his ways that he wasn't doing good in. Rafji makes it 5-2. Hadine's in net. Now Gamble immediately makes it 5-3. Martineau gets them back to a 6-3 lead. Well, we knew we were going to eventually have a bad defensive game. Didn't think it was going to be this game, though. As the third period, we allow 5 goals against, and we have a 1-1 series headed home. At least we have a 1-1 series, but not sold still on Pusher. He's very inconsistent. He's good for a few games, and he's terrible. So I don't really know what I want to do with that. Keith from Vico and Hartnell. Hartnell from Darby and Larson. Or not Larson, Leeson. Gamble from Vico and Hartnell. Hartnell got second star still in that loss. But yeah, I don't know about Pusher. Like I said, he's very inconsistent. He has terrible games and then he goes on a little bit of a tear. We do have a 1-1 series, which is great because we stole a game on the road. If we can win both games on home ice, we'll set ourselves up for a good spot. But do I want to make any changes yet? I might just keep with Pusher for one more game, and if he plays bad again, we'll go to Hadine. Yeah, the 9-15 is good, so I don't know if there's any other changes I would make right now. I think I'm going to keep the team like this. Yeah, let's keep it the same. Let's keep it the same. We won 1 game in Nashville. Might as well not ruin it too much. If we win both these home games, we'll be in a good spot. We're still in a good spot regardless, so let's see what happens. Can we take it 2-1 series lead here? Let's use that home ice to our advantage. We've not been as good of a home team this year, have we, in the playoffs, right? Let's take a look at that quickly. Like, what's our road record compared to our home record? Because I don't think I remember what that was looking like. Let's see. Home record-wise, we are 3-4, but we are 6-1 on the road. That was our first road loss of the playoffs. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully we can win some more road games because we know that we're going to have at least another road game in the series. But here we go. Game 3. Let's see if we can win some more home games because we haven't been as good on home ice. So first period of game number 3. 2-1 Nashville. Don't really like that. Cunningham opens the scoring for us, which is good, but Denisov and Markov scores, and the shots are 15-10 in favor of us. So our goaltender is starting to play really good, and our offense is kind of drying up a little bit, and our defensive play is not as good as it was in Game 1. Can we tie this game up in the second period or get the lead? Because that would be a great second period to have. Second period? 4-1 Nashville. That's not good. Nashville's all of a sudden found their offense, and Pusher's had 2 bad games in a row. Yeah, we're going to turn to Haiti next game and maybe make some adjustments. That is not good. Let's have a good third period here at least. Maybe give us something to cheer about going into the next game. But we're still a really rough team on home ice, it seems like. Parrott gets us back within 2. Power play? We do not score on it, though. It's good to see Parrott score again. That might be one of his last goals of his career, though. Martin makes it 5-2. Yeah, Pusher is having a rough time. He makes it 6-2 as well. Back-to-back games where Pusher, I think, in the team has allowed 6 goals, so we definitely need to make some adjustments to our defensive core or our goaltending. Petnin has also turned it on quite a bit for them. Yeah, all of a sudden it's all crashing down. Pusher is, like, so inconsistent. Like, he had 3 straight good games, and now he's played 2 terrible games in a row. Yeah, let's go and make some adjustments, because we need to win this game, or else it could get out of hand this series. Because I don't think we're going to come back from a 3-1 deficit. So we need to win this game. So Hayden in, and we'll also change up the defensive pairings a little bit. Yeah, we'll go something like this, I think. Yeah, we'll go something like this. And then forward-wise, we will... Move Hartnell up there with Parrott and Bobkov instead. Move Vico to the second line with Darby and Leeson. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Okay, let's see if this is able to tie the series up for us. We're always going to keep Parrott as the top line center. There's no way I'm not going to have him as the top line center. And I'm taking Claxton and all that out of the lineup, because those guys are important figures to this franchise mode. So, can we tie the series up at 2, headed to Nashville, or are we going to have ourselves against the wall in elimination? We had a great first game defensively, and now since then we haven't been, so we need to be better defensively in this one, or else that's a really bad sign. First period of game number 4, and it's scoreless. That's better defensively, but we didn't score any goals, so that's not a good sign either. Shots are 13-10 in favor of the Preds, and it's scoreless after 1. Can we find a way to break the ice in the second period? Second period, 1-0 us. Let's go. Lee Gamble opens the scoring. Shots are 21-20 in favor of the Preds, but it's a 1-0 lead for us. We need to have a strong third here, because we know their offense comes in surges, so we need to find a way to get some insurance here too. Third period underway. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Let's go. Danner makes it 2-0. That's a massive goal to start the third period. We also had a power play to kill off some of the time on the clock, which is good. Penalty kill. Nicely done, boys. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties, please. And they get a power play goal. Our lack of discipline is not good. Come on, boys. Lock it down here. And we are going to get the win 2-1, though. So a good defensive effort and a great effort from Hayden getting thrown into the lineup. We win 2-1, and we have tied the series. So once again, it's going to be a best of 3, like we were in last round against against Vancouver. Gamble from Keith and Jansevsky, Danner from Klepis and Gamble as our only goals. And yeah, Hayden was good. It's good to see that our backup goaltender can come in for a game and do well. I'll likely play him again for the next game, but it might be a bit of a risk. Eventually we might go back to Pusher again, but right now we got to go with the hot goaltender, which is Hayden. And then the rest of the lineup's going to stay the same. There we go. Let's see what happens in Game 5. Winner of this game will have a chance to close out the series back on our home ice in Anchorage. So hopefully it's us. But like I said, I could see the series going 7 games. It's very back and forth right now. So let's just play good defensive hockey, because we know if we're going to give up goals against, we're going to lose. Because we had 2 good defensive games in this series and 2 bad defensive games. So very inconsistent, but hopefully we can find some consistency in this game. See if we could have another good game. Come on, boys. Let's take a 3-2 series lead here. First period, 1-0 Preds. I mean, it's not a terrible first period by any standard, because if we were down by 2 or 3 goals, it would have been a lot worse. But we're down by a goal. Hopefully we can respond with a goal of our own in a second. But shots are pretty even, 11-10 in favor of us. We're only down by 1 goal. Can we tie the game up in the second period at least? Second period, 4-0. Oh my goodness, this is just like games 2 and 3. Hayden's not playing good this game. It was a risk to play him back-to-back games, but oh my goodness. We're way too inconsistent offensively and defensively right now. We're going to need to win 2 straight games again to win this series. I am going to go to pusher probably for next game, likely. 4 goals against on 15 shots is not good. Yeah, I'm likely going to pusher next game. Glenn Cross makes it 4-1 early in the third, so at least we get a goal in this game. But still, we've digging ourselves into a grave here. Power play for us. It's a long power play. We do not score on it. We need to be a bit more disciplined too. Darby makes it 4-2 with 5 minutes to go, but it's way too late here. And yep, we're going to lose by a final score of 5-2 as Hendrickson gets an empty netter. And we are on the brink of elimination again, going into a Game 6 scenario. And once again, this might be the last games of a lot of players' career, which hopefully it's not. Hopefully we can find a way to win 2 straight games like we did against Vancouver. And hopefully Pusher's ready to go, because Pusher was the one that won those last 2 games against the Canucks. So hopefully he does that again, and then we'll be in the Stanley Cup Finals. But that's a bit of a stretch, because this Nashville team is definitely better than teams we've played before. So Pusher back in, that's good. Other line change-wise, I am going to, since this might be the last games of their career, reunite Keith, Parrott, and I'm also going to put Claxton on this line, even though technically it is a -1. I want to do that just because I know that this might be one of their last games, so we got to give them all this ice time, even though they're the worst players on the team technically almost. We got to run with them. We got to run with them. So Keith, Claxton, and Parrott. I know Claxton's never technically played on this line with them, I don't think. But we got to try it. Or we could actually try maybe Hartnell on the wing instead. Okay, maybe I'll do this instead. Yeah, we'll do this instead. Yeah, we'll do this instead for sure. Keith will play with Darby instead, but like he normally would. Yeah, I think this is the last hurrah for Parrott and Claxton, so they might as well go it on the top line. If this is their last game, so who knows, maybe we win 2 straight games and go to a Stanley Cup final, but this is going to be a really tough one. Very tough one. Looks like Washington might be the team to go to the Stanley Cup Finals this year. But let's see what happens. Game number 6. We got to win this game for Parrott and Claxton. Hopefully they step up in this game too. Come on. And Sefsky opens the scoring on the first shot of the game, so that's a good start for the offense for us. But then we immediately took a penalty and didn't concede a goal, which is good. Come on, boys. Got to get some insurance here. Power play opportunity. We do not score on it. We know we've been a good road team in this playoff run so far for the most part. So if we could get to a Game 7, we might be able to steal one on the road too. So you never know. Anything could happen. But we do need to get some insurance. Let's see what happens in this second period here. Vico makes it 2-0. That's a massive goal, and it's another early goal to start a period. And it is good to see. Power play for us, and they get a short-handed goal from a defenseman. Are you kidding me? But we get one right back. It's Gamble that makes it 3-1. Larmour makes it 4-1. Let's go. That's a good answer for us. Lambert makes it 4-2 though, as they get a couple more on the board. And we're gonna have a 2-goal advantage going into the third with the shots 23-18. We're a period away from forcing a Game 7 to see who gets to the Stanley Cup Finals. See what happens. Come on, boys. Lock it down. Lock it down. Can't ask much more out of that. So, power play opportunity. We do not score on it. Penalty kill. Nicely done, penalty killers. That's a crucial penalty kill right there. Final 5 minutes. We are going to go to a Game 7 back in Nashville. Winner goes to the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, that is great. That is great. Jansevsky from Larmour, Vico from Gamble, and Danner Gamble from Bob Coffin. Pusher, the goaltender, picks up an assist, and Larmour from Jansevsky. Ooh, goddamn. So, yeah, Pusher was really good. It seems like Pusher, when you see has like a few days off, he comes back really rested, and he's really good. So, hopefully he has a good Game 7 here. That was what he did against the Canucks in Game 7. As we win this game, we're going to be playing either Washington or Ottawa because they're going to Game 7 as well. We're going to keep the team the exact same. There's no reason for change. Game 7. of the conference finals. Doesn't really get much better than this. Who is going to the Stanley Cup Finals? We start off the game with a power play. We do not capitalize on it. We get another power play, and we do not capitalize on it. And Nashville scores 2 goals immediately after. 10 seconds apart from Martin. He has a pair. That's not good. Penalty kill. Nicely done. We need to get one back, boys. This is not a great way to start the game. We had 2 power plays, and then Martin scores 2 goals in 10 seconds. Which is almost unrealistic. It probably is unrealistic to go from a face-off down to scoring another goal. I mean, it is actually realistic, I guess, to a sense, but that's not good. Shots are 12-12. It's a 2-0 game. I was almost going to say a 2-2 game. I wish it was a 2-2 game. Let's see if we can get that next one. We need to get that next one, or else we're going to lose this game. And they immediately score to start the second. That's not good. We're losing in Game 7 of the conference finals, aren't we? Unless we have a historic comeback in us, and this might be, like I said, the last games of a lot of players' careers. So this is very unfortunate that they have to go out like this. But those players might be forever immortalized in our channel Hall of Fame at least. Tulipov gets this on the board. I believe that's his first goal of the playoffs. And it's a 3-1 game. We're down by 2 goals. We'll probably intervene soon anyways, because this might be the last game we see a lot of these guys. So we'll probably intervene with like maybe a minute left or so, or 2 minutes left, and get some screenshots of the main guys. This is unfortunate. Let's go down to 4-time sim and see if we could come back here in this third period of Game 7. No, we can't. Martin gets his hat trick in this Game 7. God damn it, Martin. God damn it. If Martin wasn't on this team, we'd be still tied right now. It's unfortunate that we had to fall apart in Game 7. Just too inconsistent with our defensive play. Like, we had some really good defensive games in the series and good offensive ones, but we also had some really terrible games. Keith makes it a 4-2 game. We're going to intervene right now. There's 6:20 left, so might as well. Might as well. I think Nashville's going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, though, considering they won the President's Trophy. Sucks we're that close. If we were the best team in the league, would have we been able to knock out Nashville here? I don't know. But this is probably the last time we're going to see a couple of these guys in our lineup, so might as well watch this last 6:20. Because I feel like we're going to at least have 2 retirements. I'm not sure if we're going to have a third. Because if Keith retires this year as well, then yeah, this team might not make the playoffs next year. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Come on, boys. We are down only by 2 goals. We got 5 minutes left. If we could get one quick, who knows what could happen. But unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna be going out here in the conference finals. But once again, this team really surprised me this year. I didn't think we were gonna get even to the playoffs potentially, but we managed to get to the playoffs and even get to almost the Stanley Cup Finals. So can't really ask a lot more of that. Also, we've done so well in this series already. Anyways, we've already won a couple Stanley Cups, a couple chances there, and Pettin had to make 2 big saves. We almost literally got a goal right there. That was a juicy rebound. And a good shot away after on that rebound, but still. Jeez. Danner's had a great playoffs too on the defensive front in terms of offense, but the defense has not been there. Claxton and Parrott out there with Hartnell. Maybe for the rest of the game, who knows. Claxton goes to work down low. Lawrence with it. If they didn't have Lawrence, would we be able to win the series? Potentially. I don't know how much points he has, but come on, guys. See if we can find a way to somehow get this game back. Denisov gets a shot. Good save there from Pusher. Here's Avery Parrott, the captain. Potentially in his last NHL game, and he gets smoked. It's not very nice to throw a hit on Parrott this late into his game. His potentially final game. This is unfortunate, though, that we had to go out like this. Like, it would have been nice to at least get to the Stanley Cup Finals again, but those guys have had really good careers. They had some really good playoffs numbers as well this year. Like, Parrott got us to this conference finals based on how he did in the end of the second round. Claxton was really good for a 66 overall as well. So, no complaints with those guys. 50 seconds left, huh? It sucks. It sucks. It's close to a Stanley Cup Finals, 1 win away from it, but oh well. I don't know if we would have been able to win against whoever is in the finals between Washington and Ottawa. Because I don't think we've ever... Yeah, we never played those teams before, obviously, so I'm not really sure on who they have, if there's any former players there or not. Parrott gets a shot, Pettinen to save, and we have pulled the goalie with 37 seconds left. Trying to find a way to get 2 goals in this final minute. That's going to be tough, especially with Pettinen being as good of a goalie as he is. Keith had the draw. This is a good face-off, man. Let's see if he's able to win it. And he does. Danner with it. Throws it back to Darby. We need to get some shots, boys. Can't be passing it around too much here with the amount of time we have left. Got to be throwing the rubber to the net. Klepis with a bomb, and that's turned away. Gamble. Still with it. Backhander, and Pettinen stops it. Yeah, we're not going to win this. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. At least we had a really good run this year, and we have, I think, one more season left of this. So hopefully a lot of these guys come back for the last year, but at the same time, I don't know if they will. That's a shot. It's loose, and Pettinen finds it again. Nashville always has good goaltenders, though. Pecorine, UC Saros, and now this Pettinen dude. I don't know who else came in between that, but damn. They've had some really good Finnish goaltenders. Keith, Bobkov, Gamble scores! With 15 seconds left. Lee Gamble has pulled us within 1. Don't count us out just yet. We're 15 seconds away from losing, obviously, but Lee Gamble finds a crazy goal. The guy that likes to fight a lot. That was an interesting one there. Can we find a way to tie this up with 15.3? I really doubt it, but imagine if that happens. Come on, Keith, you gotta win the draw, and he doesn't win the draw. If he would have won that face-off, we would have a better chance, but now they're just gonna rag the puck, right? We get the puck back. We only have 5 seconds. It's not enough time to get all the way up the ice. Yep. Well, we lose by 1 in Game 7. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. If it wasn't for the that Martin guy on their team, we would have maybe won this game. God damn it. Oh well. It was a good run. You can't be asking really much more of this team because, like I said, I didn't even know if we were going to be a playoff team or not. So there's Parrott going through the handshake line. He's been here multiple times before. So Nashville gets a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Paxbu is their captain. Maybe Paxbu will get himself a Stanley Cup. Who knows? There we go. Let's take a look at our players for potentially one last time. Keith, Parrott, and Claxon. And then we'll obviously go up to like retirements and all that stuff in this episode. So let's see Derek Keith for one last time potentially, because this might be his last season. There he is. Let's actually get a better screenshot of him where he's not hitting into people. There you go. There's Derek Keith. And let's see. I believe Claxon and Parrott were out before that as well. Oh, Parrott's on the bench right there getting happy. Hopefully my Elgato's not freezing right now, because this would be the worst time possible. Let's see. Come on, I want to get Parrott and Claxon out there. Which they should be, I think, right here. No, not there. The next face-off likely. Because they weren't out there for the last minute for some weird reason. Let's see. Let's see. Where are those guys? Oh, there they are. There's Claxon. We could actually get one of Claxon on the ice instead of on the bench. There he is. Let's get his eyes to open up first a little bit. There you go. There is Claxon. Likely he's definitely a retirement. Parrott might not be, but we'll see if he is. There's Parrott as well. And there's our final look at those guys potentially. Well, that sucks, but that is what it is. Let's see those awards and all that stuff. Wrap up this season. See who ends up winning the Stanley Cup. But first, let's take a look at our player stats. Player stats. Glenn Cross, Darby, Gamble. Everybody on this team, I'd say, was very impressive offensively. The defensive play in that conference final, so not so much. Not so much. Claxon was a +8, so he was really well done. He didn't get a lot of ice time, but still. And goalie-wise, yeah, Pusher was solid at times, but not great at other times, too. So, too inconsistent for my liking. But there's all that. let's simulate up to the awards now and see who ends up winning the Stanley Cup this year. Who is going to be the Stanley Cup champion? It is going to be Nashville. So we do lose to the best team in the league, the President's Trophy winning Nashville Predators, who also win the Stanley Cup. So shout out to Nashville. They end up beating the Sens in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Let's take a look at the awards now. So Nashville wins the Stanley Cup for the first time, maybe in this franchise mode, not 100% sure with that. They also do win the President's Trophy, and it was Nashville Ottawa Cup Finals. Raymond wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Lawrence wins the Norris for the 3rd season in a row. That's crazy. Harding wins the Bing for Columbus. Ovechkin the Calder, even though I think he was 25 years old. It's kind of weird. Martin wins the Conn Smythe. That's the guy that had the hat trick against us in the friggin' Game 7 scenario. So, yeah, that guy was good. Pushkarov wins the Vezina for Buffalo. Agostino, who we knocked out, him and Komachi win the Jennings. Masterton goes to Turakov. Cam, who's Buffalo's coach, wins the Jack Adams. Charlie Guerin wins the Selke. Or again, another surprise. Raymond wins the Lindsay. And Lukovic won the Richard on a non-playoff team. Wow. Hey, St. Jacques was the best defenseman in the AHL, so that's a great sign. So he might be in the NHL next season. So there's that. And is this the end for our guys now? This is the moment of truth. Is it the end for Claxton, Parrott, and Derek Heath? Anaheim has the first overall pick, followed by Florida, Pittsburgh, Calgary, and Vegas. Is this the last time we see those guys in Anchorage colors? Claxton does retire, but Parrott did not retire. Parrott is going to be back for another year. Okay. First, let's look at each position, though. But Connor Bedard, best player to retire this year. Not a surprise. He was with Pittsburgh in his last year, which is kind of crazy. Dwayne McEachern, recognized a couple of these names. But Miles Claxton was the 3rd best center to retire. He retires at the age of 38 with 939 points in 1,640 games. What a career for Miles Claxton. Unreal. And there's his playoff numbers as well. Sucks to see him retire, but I knew he was going to be at least a retirement. But Parrott did not retire, which is a massive shock to me still. This guy's going to be playing till 40, apparently. But yeah, Claxton also had a great career playoff numbers. 152 points in 219 games. And he was a former 2nd round pick. So there's the final look for Miles Claxton. What a goat. What a goat. Might be in the Channel Hall of Fame if you guys want to vote him in there. Any other players that used to play with us or currently do? Nobody on center-wise. Left wing-wise, no former players either, it's looking like. Which is good. Yeah, not seeing any former players really. Right wing-wise, the best Colin Schneider in Washington. Anybody that used to play with us on offense? Not seen any. The only former player, current player, is Claxton, which means Keith also didn't retire. Defensively, the best defenseman to retire was Dean Sharp. Not a great defensive retirement class. Not any former players, hardly. Which is kind of good. Because that means we could bring back some of them at some stage. Best goaltender to retire this year was Jorgen Ackerman. There was one legend goaltender to retire, and that is Aiden Taves. Aiden Taves retires at 37. He had not played for another team since he left us. But this guy will be forever immortalized as the best playoff goaltender likely that I've ever had. Like, his year, the years we won the Stanley Cup, you could honestly say it was likely because of him. Like that 8-0 playoff run with a 956. Friggin' crazy. So shout out to Aiden Taves, who goes out to retire. Actually, I want to take a look at his regular season numbers as well and screenshot this just in case I need that. So there you go. The only 2 retirements worth noting, Miles Claxton and Aiden Taves. So shout out to Miles Claxton. Best of luck to him in retirement. But Parrott will be back for another season. And oh no. And we also suffer a big retirement on the coaching department, which I did not expect. Joe Thornton has decided to call it quits as well. He was our coach for our 2 Stanley Cup wins, but now he is fully retired and living the retired life down in southern Florida, likely. Not in Anchorage, because you can't really retire in Anchorage unless he wants to go ice fishing and all that type of thing. But wow. Was not expecting Joe Thornton to retire this year as our head coach, but it is what it is. So there is that. We also did lose a coach from the AHL. And we did lose 2 more scouts. I actually forgot to pick up some scouts last offseason, but oh well. Didn't really matter too much because we do not really need to worry about the draft anymore. So there is that. So let's take a look at the progress reports, the contracts, and the draft class, and that'll be it. So in terms of the drop-offs, yeah, Parrott's dropping off a lot, but he will be back for another season, which means he might hit 900 goals if he has another 44-goal season. But he has 1,500 points, might hit 1,600 likely. What a monster. Back for another year. Unreal. Derek Heath has also dropped off a lot. He'll be back for another season. Hartnell's dropping off a lot. Yeah, a lot of guys are just dropping like crazy. So there's all that. In the system, what do we got for growth? Anything that will help us. Fitzgerald could play in the NHL likely next year if we want. Defensively, we're getting a lot of growth from Petterstrom. He's up to a 75 at 20, but it might be a little bit too late. Same with Bouwmeester, he got a lot of growth. Yeah, a lot of our low elites are growing, which is nice, but it's a little bit too late for some of them. It's a bit too late. So there is all of that. Let me take a look at the contract situation. So, let's see, all expiring. We got some big contracts to dish out. But obviously we need to keep Parrott here for another year. Oh, okay, 1 year is fine. But then if you go for multiple years, this guy wants 14 million bucks. That's kind of funny. But yeah, Parrott's definitely here for another year, but I did not expect him to keep on playing. So there's all the re-signing guys. And finally the draft class. Not that it matters really at this stage at all. There's a franchise player in this last draft likely. Cameron Pellick. He's going to be really good. So there is that. And we are drafting likely one of the last picks in this first round. And we might be able to grab ourselves a low elite that's 2 years out. So that's kind of nice. But we won't ever get to see that guy. That's the only thing. There's also maybe a medium elite power forward that looks nice too. We'll pin him too. But likely we'll never get to see those guys play, which is unfortunate. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft the Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll have our final offseason, I think, of this franchise mode and try and just maintain this team. And I don't know if this team makes it back to the playoffs again, but if they do, it'll be on the shoulders of Avery Parrott for at least another year. So just think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.